Yo, what's going on, guys? Cordy here, and welcome back to another Paragon video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the mid patch. It's going to be a really small update here. There's not a whole lot of information. This is the mid patch. Mid patches are normally just kind of balanced on heroes, and then that's really it. So I was kind of skimmed through this, and there's not a whole lot here. But let's go ahead and get into it and see what we got. So first, we have the gadget skin. This is the only skin that we're getting. It's going to be a recolor. So it's kind of basic. Surprised we didn't get any newer skins. I feel like the other mid patches we've had some good skins, or like a really good classic skin. But yeah, this is just a recolor. Like there's only one skin. It's gadget. And it's a recolor, so it's kind of depressing there. For discounted skins, we have the Gideon legendary one, Kalari the red cloak, and Narbash the white cloud. These are gonna be the discounted ones, and there's some new little graphic here, kind of showing what's coming up in this patch. Just kind of a quick review. So the heroes and items alerts. Sunny is going to be the like buffs, balances, things like that. Cloudy is going to be the nerfs. So that's what we have to look forward to. No new items, no changes. It's just heroes in this patch only. So first we got Steel. Steel is going to get scaling on his right click. So he's going to be doing a little bit more damage on the right click. They're going to lower the cooldown by 1.5 in max, and then the Q skill base damage is going to increase as well. So he's getting a little bit of damage output, and then his ironclad wall. This is probably the bigger buff here, increasing him by 1 second on his wall. His wall is pretty good. Still sometimes less effective in lane combat other than other supports. It's really interesting. They're still classifying him as a support because I feel like majority of the player base plays him in the solo lane. He is a way better solo laner than he is support. He is a dive solo laner. That's his whole kit. So interesting to still show him as support. Eventually, I feel like they might make that change. And it'd be really easy to just classify him as a tank and get it over with. But yeah, so they a little bit above 2 Steel. Kalari. So Kalari got nerfed a lot. And then with the ward system, she got nerfed a lot more. So here we have a little buff. Brand, the right click, the main damage ability, 165 to 200 at max. The range is going to be increased. They decreased the range before. Now they back and increase it a little bit more. The scaling on the E skill, the teleport, is going to be getting a 0.3 damage increase. So a little bit damage power scaling on that. This right here is going to be pretty crazy. So the ultimate. The ultimate before was 10 to 20 base damage per hit between 1 and 13 hits. Now it's 20, so the max rank is going to be at level 1 when you first get it. 20, 40, and 60 base damage per hit. Also, there's going to be a little bit increase of power scaling by 0.05, and the radius is going to be increased to 4.5. So early on, like Kalari is going to do some damage. She's going to be doing just be a true assassin. You go in, dagger somebody, jump on them, use your ult, and you might just, if they're like at 75% health, you might just 100-0 them. Like this is gonna be really interesting to play around with and see how much damage we can do with Kalari. The dev comments here: due to recent carbon skill update and distribution of Watcher's Eyes, starting out and maintaining stealth has become more challenging, making Kalari's role very narrow. We just the overall damage in the area to emphasize her assassin role better. Yeah, she's definitely gonna be killing. I'm interested to see. At level 20, or at max rank, it's 20 base damage. Now we're going to get it at our first ultimate. So at level 6, you should be ganking and just deleting somebody from the team fight. Phase. Synchronizer. This is the link. Going to be decreasing the cooldown. At max rank, it's 16. Now it's going to be 14. The light flux, the beam, it's 20 meters. Now it's 22. The area is going to be a little bit bigger to 1.2. The slow is going to be increased by 5% to 20% now. The cooldown, 14, and now it's going to be 12. And then decreasing the mana on the E skill as well. Yeah, you look at a little buff there for phase. The E make it easy to slow somebody down and keep them in combat. And the link, just a couple more seconds off the link, allows you to do your abilities a little bit more. So a little buff there for phase. Shinbi's Light's Memory. I believe this is the right click. This is the double dash. It's 13 to 11. Now it's going to be 10 seconds. Scaling is going to increase by 0.20. And the E skill, the Phantom Dance, that's the wolves that dance around her. The mana is going to be decreased to 80 at all ranks, so no more scaling. Is going to be 80 at all ranks. So not bad, just a little buff there for Shinbi. Sarah's getting buff again. Sarah, I don't know why they keep buffing her. I don't think you need to buff her. She's not really good because she doesn't have CCs. She does damage, but not CCs. You don't need to keep putting more damage on her. Execution by Illusion, the Q skill adjusted 14 to 6. Now it's 10 to 6. So a little bit cheaper, or a little bit shorter cooldown there in the early part. The leap, looks like we're getting a leap decreased by 0.5 across the board. The ultimate, so bonus damage on landing a successful base attack on a burned enemy, 18 to 20. Now it's 25 to 35. And then the scaling is 0.35. Now it's 0.1. So you'll be doing a lot more damage early on with your ult. I guess really total overall the game with your ult. So just kind of giving her more damage on the ultimate and a little bit more survivability with the Q and E skill. Belica. So Belica is in the cloudy section. So she's going to be nerfed. The range on the bomb, the right click, is 17 to 16. The radius is going to be decreased by 0.25, so a little bit shorter. The commander's eye, the power scaling is going to be decreased by 0.10, and going to be decreasing the duration to 12 seconds total. So no longer scales up with duration. It's going to be a set 12 seconds overall. Not a big nerf. Belica is really, really good now with the ult change. Her kit is so... She actually has a good damaging ult whenever they still have like mana in their kit, or when they still have mana. So yeah, Belica is really good. Probably the best caster in the game right now. This change, not that big of a deal. You're just gonna be a little bit more precise with your ability, with your right click. That's kind of about it. Yeah, not a big nerf there to Belica. Gadget, increasing the damage on the Q skill in the early part. So early part, you're gonna be doing more damage. So I guess helping with poking and lane clearing. Speed gate is decreasing the cooldown by a second. The mana cost is going to be decreased by 10. The ultimate is going to be slowed 75%. Now it's going to be 80%. And the slow duration is 0.3. Now it's 0.5. So a little buff there for Gadget. I think the main thing is the early clearing here. Gadget doesn't really have a lot of damaging abilities, just for bomb. So this is really good poke early game. All right, next up we're going to get Quang. Crescent Moon, the right skill. Damage adjusted 30 to 50. Now it's 30 to 70. And the area is going to be increased by 0.25. The E skill, first battle, that's going to be his dash. Cooldown is 15 to 11. Now it's 14 to 10. So second off the cooldown on his dash. And looks like we're increasing the movement and the movement speed. Sorry, increasing the distance and the movement speed. So it could be a little bit more, cover more ground there on Quang. A little buff there to Quang. Drongo's getting a buff. I don't really think he needs a buff. He's not like the best ranger, but he's not terrible. Yeah, so interesting to see he's getting a buff. The uranium rounds 4 to 6%. Now it's be 5 to 7%. So more damage there. More damage on the explosion. The scaling on his E skill, his uranium rounds is going to increase by 0.05. We adjust the damage of Drongo's uranium rounds to make him more anti-tank. That was just kind of his whole kit. Drongo's the hero designed to deal more damage against tanks. Yeah. But so far, it seems like he's not able to fulfill his role properly. I don't really think he needed a buff, but we'll see. We'll see how strong this is going to be. 7% late game. You're maxing this out pretty early on. So we'll see. We'll see how big of damage he's going to be doing now. Muriel is part of the cloudy section. We're getting a nerf, boys. It's finally happened. She had like a wall nerf. And then like a shield nerf that was reverted back to the regular shield. So this is gonna be an actual nerf. Glory of Osine or Scene. I still don't know how to say that correctly. The right skill. Shield amount is 100 to 80. Now it's 80 to 240. So shield's getting decreased. Positive. The movement speed is increased adjusted 15 to 35. Now it's 8 to 20%. Decreasing the movement speed. The duration is 2 seconds to 3. Now it's going to be 2 flat. And increasing the mana cost to 70. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive now. for using that ability. And then the ultimate 120 to 100. Now it's 135 to 105. Yeah, Muriel has been a top support for a very long time now. And they have finally nerfed the things that needed to be nerfed on her. Her right click was just really, really strong. So good nerf for Muriel there. It finally happened. All right, next up is going to be Faye. Faye Forceful. That is the plants, the right click, the AoE. It's 35 to 55. Now it's 42 to 62, so a little bit more damage there, base damage. Scaling is 0.02, so a little bit more power scaling. And the area adjusted 5 meters to 5.5. Faye's fewer damage skills and other cast heroes make her difficult to play in lane combat. They adjust the damage in area so that Faye can defeat Tions faster rather than trading damage with enemy heroes. Okay, so making her be able to just clear a little bit quicker is the goal there. Yeah, Faye, she doesn't really have a lot of poke in lane. She kind of just clears and waits for a team fight or wait for her full combo with the ultimate. Other than that, yeah, she doesn't really have a lot of damaging poke. Her main damage ability got nerfed pretty hard a couple patches ago, so a little buff there for Faye. She has really good team fight ult though. Murdoch is another one that's in the cloudy section, so he's getting nerfed. The Q skill, this is going to be the lock-on targeter that you always get poked in lane. So damage is 5 to 25, now it's 4 to 20. The range is getting decreased to 42 meters, so you gotta be a little bit closer. Scaling is going to be decreased as well. So Q skill is getting nerfed. That's pretty good for laning. And the ultimate, 280 to 440, now it's 240 to 400, and decreasing the scaling by 0.1 on his ultimate. So a lot of nerf there on Murdoch. The Q skill is definitely annoying to deal with because it's you couldn't miss. Like Rev's Q, it could hit multiple people. Tone Blast's Q, it could not hit all the targets. It didn't do a lot of damage. His ability was like lock on, all of them are hitting. You take a lot of big bursts of damage. So good little nerf there to bring him back in line with other rangers. Greystone, the Knight's Will. This is his passive skill, the blocked passive. Cooldown is 8.5 to 6.5. Now it's 7.5 to 5.5. So a second off. And with cooldowns, you'll get this pretty low. The ultimate, Greystone got nerfed pretty hard. He came out really swinging, and they nerfed him really hard to the ground. Greystone is ultimate 150 to 140. Now it's 150 to 120. This is pretty good. 120 is a good late game ultimate for this type of ability. And the Transcendent Knight health and mana recovery amount is 30 to 50. Now it's 35 to 55. So it looks like they did in the middle. I think when he came out, he was like 40, 50, 60. So he got like 60%, and they nerfed him down like 30, 50, 40, 50. So I believe they met him in the middle. So he's not like getting a lot of health back. 55 is still pretty good, but when he comes back to life, he's usually gonna die again because there's the enemies there. If you're dying on Greystone, then you probably lost the team fight. Usually you're losing the team fight because you died, right? So the enemy is just kind of waiting for you. Yeah, you surrounded enemies after respawning. They're just kind of waiting for you to kill you again. So a little bit of health. We'll see how it does. Mako. So Mako's getting a bump. Q skill, health recovery amount adjusted 40 to 180. Now it's 50 to 190. For 3 or more allies, increasing it more. The percent of the target's max health. At max, it's 3.1 to 3.4. If it's 3 or more allies, 1.55 to 1.7. So just healing. Yeah. Mako's gonna do more healing. His Q skill, he got nerfed. His Q skill got nerfed on like cooldowns and damage, but now they increase it by just healing, so making him more in that support category. So buff to Mako, and then Sparrow. Sparrow focus the right click adjusted so that you can basic attack after skill use. Yeah, there's a bug. I don't know if it was a bug or I guess it was intended and they're fixing it. But whenever you use your right click, you couldn't basic attack right after. You had to wait like a second or something. It was really weird. So now they reduce the delay so the basic attacks can perform immediately after using the right click, allowing for more flexible gameplay. So a little buff there to Sparrow. Mainly, actually, quality of life, not a buff, just a quality of life. It shouldn't have been like that. And then some bug fixes, and then Iggy and Scorch is still going to be disabled, unfortunately. Again. But yeah, that is it, guys. Again, the mid patch, it's not a big patch. The mid patch is kind of like balancing, and new skins, I guess. But this skin was, I'm surprised we didn't get a newer one. The end of the month is where the big patch happens. We get a new hero, we get maybe new items or things like that to progress the game. This is just balancing, which I'm definitely cool with. They can, you know, work on bugs and tweaking the heroes rather than, you know, putting out new content every single patch. Just kind of polishing up the game in these mid patches. Yeah, guys, that is it for the video. I don't know. We don't know yet who the next hero is going to be. According to the old roadmap, it was going to be, I think, Grim and then Richter. So we'll see if they continue to go with that route, or if they just redo it all and we get a new hero coming out. Preferably, I would prefer a new hero. We need a assassin. We're missing assassins. We've gotten other roles except for the assassin. Xena was the last one to come out, and then a caster. The last one was Iggy and Scorch. And the other roles have gotten heroes between them. So I would like them to do a hero for every role every month. That way every role gets love. So people that play, you know, a certain role, they don't have to wait so long to get a new hero. That is it for the video. Not a big patch. Again, just kind of balances. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to try Kalari. I think Kalari's been doing some damage now. Early game, she was a pub stomper before, and then with this like damage, she's probably gonna be a pub stomper again. So it'd be fun to play her. Muriel finally got nerfed. We'd love to see it. Bellica, not really a big change. More skilled, be a little bit more skillful on your abilities, but she's still gonna be a pretty good caster. And yeah, and the Muriel nerf, we'd love to see that in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this patch? Also, if you guys haven't yet, and you have a Discord, it's gonna be a link will be in the description below. You guys are more than welcome to join, hang out with us, talk about Paragon, even other games too. Just kind of chill with us. Yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Everyone, take care, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.